This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
And I'm your host, Jason Glick.
How you doing, Jason Glick?
I'm good, John. Yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Just like I said, in the dog days of August, I'm waiting for September to appear. Because once September is here, then it's like Labor Day, which is the last day of summer. Blah 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 blah, all the way down to the end, and Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's all I care about. Give me the Christmas.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can oblige you then.
All right, what do you got for us tonight?
All right, well, tonight is going back to the God of Manga, Osamu Tezuka. He's been someone who even though he kind of predate he definitely predates a lot of the stuff that's popular. Like there's been a considered effort by several publishers to get his library out out into the out into the public's hands. Dark Horse has done a couple volumes, including they did. They're the ones who did Astro Boy. Viz has Phoenix, and and Vertical for my money is where all the good stuff is at. They've got my personal favorite of his works, Ode to Kirihito, along with MW, the Message to Adolf reissue. It's like Book of Human Insects, Ayako, Apollo Song, and all of Blackjack. Now, but since then, let's see, they've also got they don't have apparently like the in to a Tezuka's library anymore. That belongs to Digital Manga, and they've been doing a series of Kickstarters over the years to bring Tezuka to the to the masses. Now, it's kind of funny because I've it's like well I understand that that Kickstarter is mainly used is that can be used as a clever tool to either fund stuff that wouldn't ordinarily get get released otherwise, or as kind of like useful promotional tool. Now it's like with but the thing is with digital manga, well they've pretty much been like exclusively releasing stuff through through Kickstarter, with the exception being they're Swallowing the Earth, which actually got a Kickstarter reprint about a couple of years back. I guess I'm not sure where I was going with this, but the thing is, digital manga. It's like despite having all the apparently exclusive access to Tezuka's stuff, has kind of paid the price by arriving really late to the party here when all the good stuff has been picked over by all these other companies, and the Kickstarter stuff kind of bears this out. I will say that I've written now. I'm saying this after I've contributed to just about all of their Kickstarters. The exceptions being their one time they wanted $300,000 to release some 30 odd volumes of his work, which I thought, oh no, that's just way too rich for my blood. And the Wonder 3 book, which I just looked at and thought, nah. But other stuff they've released. Let's see, Barbara, Unico, and Triton. It's like I've written about briefly on the site, and like I said, Barbara's was kind of interesting. Triton and Unico weren't bad for being, from his earlier period. Because that's the thing about Tezuka. Tezuka kind of has two periods. There's his early work, which is very kid friendly, and it's where Astro Boy comes from. It's like that stuff hasn't really aged all that well over the years. I mean, it's some of it can work decently well as allegory, but yeah, he's just peddling to the kiddies here. His latter day stuff, which is where Blackjack and Ode to Kirihito hail from. Well, yeah, there's the ravages of time have also weathered them as well, but at the same time, there's still an emotional truth to a lot of what he's saying here. It's like and a sophistication to the storytelling, that's helped age pretty better than most over the years. The stuff that digital mangas Kickstarters that I've let slide over the last couple of years. Well, kind of a mixed bag from both ends. I'll start with Captain Ken, a shonen action series about that's basically like a western on Mars. Why on Mars? Well, because kids love science fiction. I mean, God knows I would have read the shit out of out of a western on Mars, and it does and it offers and it definitely brings in a lot of standard western tropes. You got the mysterious gunslinger Ken with a past and a robot horse that has a lot of cool features. It's like noble landowners who are trying to hold their own against the evil. It's like a mayor of the town who wants their land. The indigenous peoples. Well, in this case, Martians. Kind of like sectoid like creatures, humanoid and sectoid like creatures with it's like with antenna that have been screwed over by by the humans in their it's like in their ambitions. And and it's been these two volumes. I mean, the thing about Tezuka is all of his stuff is a nice dense read. So it's not something you're going to go and just burn through. It's like in the space of the afternoon or lunch hour as it is for me. It's like Ken is a decently entertaining run through like familiar Western tropes that like the benefits from Tezuka's energy. It's like and also like and also and like the and they it's like and a nice little message about be about it's about the problems with racial tensions as it's like as humans and the aliens it's like just can't come to terms. It's like after all the stuff they've inflicted on each other. It's like it's not bad. It's like I said, it's still pitched towards a younger audience. Though I will give Tezuka credit for keeping for not going the obvious direction with it's like with Ken's origin. While he's it's shrouded in mystery for the most part. It's like the eventual it's like he managed a nice twist in the sense that the obvious like solution that Ken was actually one of the other characters we've seen in the story in disguise turns out to be much more appropriate for the science fiction genre. Next up is Storm Fairy, which is not a science fiction tale, but a fantasy set in feudal Japan involving a noble family who it's who where the mother was like let's see the sorry the it's like the family was forced out during a battle and they it's like and as the mother is like so scared that husband's going to perish in the attack, she makes a deal with an evil wood fairy that it's like we'll go and it's like we'll go and like I'll make sure your husband comes back alive, but you have to promise me that your daughter will switch faces with my daughter when she's born, because apparently all fairies in the story are ugly, and so that happens, and the fairy let's see not only not only goes on to be like a beautiful fairy thanks to the face she got, she also turns out to be a very good and kind-hearted fairy as well. While the princess has to wear a special mask to hide her ugly features from the world. Now, there's a lot of action in this. It's like in the story, and it's after the princess is she's kidnapped and is replaced by by an evil lord and his ambitious daughter. She meets up with with a handsome wandering swordsman. And the fairy also goes to the castle and winds up getting involved in all this intrigue as well. It's like I don't know. It's like it's not bad, but it's like it's just. I mean, I appreciate the fact that Tezuka keeps things going at a fast pace, so that we're not constantly I'm dwelling on how simple the overall plot is. I mean, the most memorable part of this for me was at the very end when, well, let's just say that God shows up and makes everything right with the world. Why? Well, because he can. That's why. That's see that's like the most distinctive part about this story. And then but thing is, like, Stormfairy is actually 3 stories collected in one volume. Next is called the Kokeshi Detective Agency by the little girl who is fearless, kind of like Daredevil, only like she can see, and she doesn't wear red leather when she goes on her crime fighting exploits. It's that kind of a Scooby Doo type feel in the sense as she solves these like that quasi supernatural stories. It's like and it's like along with her brother who is like, well, she is not, well, she feels no fear. He does a good job of scaring himself more than it's like more than anything else. It's like it's a fun little story, and it kind of feels like this is something that Tezuka may have had bigger ambitions for this. Like if you like, it really reads like a pilot for an ongoing series. Um, well, that we didn't get more of this is no great loss, but eh, I could see there's worse things that I've seen gone from their origin stories. Last up in this volume is Pink Angel, story of a anthropomorphic cloud, and it's like after the other stories, it's like in here, it's like it's I don't know, so it just kind of feels like more of this. It's like more of the same. As this, you get this cloud running from the evil storm cloud and whatnot, and I don't know. It's like it's not bad, not terrible, kind of meh overall. Yeah. Um, then we've got something that I may not have been inclined to contribute to if I had been paying more attention to it, because this would be Ludwig B. Basically, Tezuka's take on, it's like on the story of it's like of Ludwig von Beethoven, and it's like, well, that may seem kind of weird having a Japanese creator take on the story of a German pianist from the 1700s, 16 or 1700s. I can't remember, but he probably no 1800s. My bad. Or no, late 1700s. God damn it! It's like I just reread this today, and it's like remember, it's like, oh, they're talking about the French Revolution. Okay. Anyway, getting back on point. Ludwig B is the most recent story that digital manga has republished, because it actually hails Tezuka was working on this right up to his death in February of 1989, and it's like, and true to form with his, it's like with his latter day works, it's like there is a, like it does have more sophistication to the storytelling, even if it does allow for the like little slapstick, like slapstick sides, and just like weird flights of fancy, as he even has one scene in the second volume recorded as if it was on some kind of homemade camera in the 1700s. But it's also but it also has an interesting morality tale here. As it tells not only the story of Beethoven, portrayed here as mainly it's like a very very stern, very self-serious kid, determined to succeed. It's like, and not sell his soul to the nobles, at the urging of his father, who maintains, who at least sticks to that gun, even as he fails all others as a hapless, irredeemable drunk. But also key to the story is the is that of let's see was it Franz? Yeah, Franz, who were introduced to the story at his birth as a peacock named Ludwig, like squawks near his mother one day and sends her into early labor. While Franz survives, the mother dies as the shock of going into early labor. Then and also through some strange quirk, like Franz also inherited the like the peacock's ghastly cry whenever he laughs, and that not only infuriates his father to no end, so it also causes him to be somewhat of a social outcast as well, especially when it's like one of the local kids taunts him by saying that that his mother was pecked to death by a peacock, and Franz like challenges the kid to a duel. Kid pranks him, and Franz, feeling humiliated at this, runs and stabs the kid in the back, beginning a lifetime of bad of bad luck. That's going because it's like even though it's like you feel bad for Franz in the sense that the cards are stacked against him, like from birth, really. But he's also the kind who will always try and take the easy way out, whether it's stabbing the kid in the back or trying to shoot one of his one of the leaders in his cavalry after he gets admitted to this order to try and redeem his honor. It's like, if it's even trying to bring Ludwig, because that's the thing. He Franz is just furious at people and characters named Ludwig because that's the same name of the peacock that killed his mother and set his life on this track. It's like he also tries to torment Ludwig as well. And it turns out that we found that I'm sure this is pure historical invention, but Tezuka also has Franz be the person responsible for Beethoven's hearing loss as well. I'm probably making this sound like this is more Franz's story than Ludwig's, but no, it's like that. The composer does get a substantial amount of time here, and it's interesting seeing seeing him grow from from a child pianist into a teenager who has genuine talent, and Tezuka also manages some nice visual montages to stand in for the creator's more notable works. It's like what's these two volumes are great, and I have no problem recommending them to any fan of the creator, but for one thing. You may have mentioned that you may remember that I said that Tezuka is working on this all the way up to his death. Well, yeah, it's not done. These two volumes, all there is, and it ends not really on a giant cliffhanger, but just on a man, that just kind of sucks that there's not going to be any more of this. That's my main problem with it. So yeah, it's like I'm not sure I would have contributed if I had realized that we were getting an incomplete work. In fact, it's like it just seems kind of mean or like short-sighted that digital manga would foist something incomplete like this on us. I mean, yeah, it's like I'm sure that they feel that hey, this is great, and yeah, what's here is good, but it's also not the whole thing. So, like I said, definitely worth it for completists. Casual fans, you're better looking at someplace else. Something like Clockwork Apple, which is a anthology of shorts from Tezuka's later years that hit a nice variety of Twilight Zone style stories, such as a Nazi lieutenant who thinks he's found a way to escape his execution through a formula that grants people incredible speed, but to find out there's an awful catch to it as well. Or it's like then you've got the story of a human and an android. It's like living on Titan, who eventually confess their love for each other, only to have fate intervene. And deliver both some really bad luck for them and some hope in the end. And then there's the title story, a Clockwork Apple, which has kind of a body snatchers type conspiracy type feel to it, as an office worker stumbles onto a conspiracy in his town. Let's see, and then there's also the alternately comic and thrilling Night on the Bypass that has a business or a guy getting a ride from a taxi driver and telling the taxi driver that he's a hardcore criminal. Tries to make sure the taxi driver does whatever he says, until the taxi driver counters this with an incredible story of of his own that basically suggests that he's not entirely stable. And well, who's telling the truth? Well, maybe they both are, or maybe they're both lying. It's like it's a fun story. I mean, all of the stories here are generally pretty good. And like I said, if you like the whole like Twilight Zone style of science fiction stories with morals and twist endings, then yeah, you'll get a kick out of this one. Of the ones I'm talking about here, Clockwork Apple is probably the most consistently good of them. Now, I mean, realize that doesn't bode well for the next thing, Crime and Punishment, which yes, it's Tezuka adapting the Russian novel of the same name. It was an add-on for one of these backers. I think one of these projects. I think it was for Storm Fairy, but for years I had heard that oh hey, Tezuka, he also did a adaptation of Crime and Punishment, which it's just like kind of like, well, weird, in the sense that you think like, well, why would a Japanese manga creator adapt this Russian novel? Well, see, as it turns out, like there was a kind of phase in it's like in the early in the 50s where adapting classic manga was kind of in vogue, and Tezuka apparently had this adaptation of Crime and Punishment like in the offing, and so he decided to finish it up for this. Having not read the original, I can say that I appreciate the visual style Tezuka brings to the story, especially the point where the protagonist like slips in and commit the murder of the pawn shop owner, but also and how it's done like through a series of unchanging panels over over about a dozen pages. It's pretty impressive to see, but it's this visual panache that really gives the story any meaning. As it is, it feels kind of blah and really doesn't make me want to go and check out the the original work. Yeah, it's like that sounds kind of half-assed. I can't say it. The manga really inspired me to say anything more sophisticated about it. It was just that good. But oh man, this final one. You know, when you're telling me you've got a story about a villain with translucent skin designed to make the world an ugly place, like from Tezuka, I thought, hell yeah, go ahead and bring it on. But if Tezuka were alive today, well, he probably wouldn't want you to, because in the best and worst thing about this this manga, well, Tezuka admits that this series kind of crap, and that's all right, because Alabaster, 2-volume series that begins on a really it's like fascinating and electrifying racial note, as we're introduced to the character of Alabaster. Like, he's a guy with translucent skin. It's like who's it's like a ruthless killer. But before that, it's like he was really an African American athlete who was like number one in all the sports he tried. But well, it's like then one day he meets this white girl, falls in love with her, and then only to find out that she was just toying with him, because she could never fall in love with someone with black skin. And well, after he assaults her, and makes a run for it. Well, and a couple people die in the process. Well, then he's just kind of railroaded into the justice into a prison sentence. So you've got this character who's feeling completely who's angry at the world, but also angry at the color of his skin because of how this happened. And well, he meets this scientist in prison who apparently had created this thing ray that turns people invisible. Well, as it is, after Alabaster, or James Block as he's originally known, gets back on the streets, he uses it he it's like he uses the scientist's invention, and while the pain prevents him from like from fully transforming, like he's eventually he loses his quote unquote cursed skin and turns into the translucent monstrosity that we come to know as it's like as alabaster. Like and the first I said it's a really like fascinating perspective on race. It's like on racial tension from the from a Japanese perspective. But if you're expecting any of that thought to carry over to the rest of the rest and volume two, well, no. It's like get like we find out that Alabaster has becomes a crime lord, and he also winds up recruiting this one girl who also was who managed to be who through experimentation by the scientist was also turned it's turned fully invisible. So this a lot of this a lot of the story like basically falls on Alabaster's criminal schemes and the girl Ami as she plays into them, as well as her like the efforts of her family and the boys she meets to try and either like help her see the error of her ways, even as she eventually tries to like help Alabaster's scheme turn the world as ugly as he is. It's basically just like like complete like ridiculous. Imagine the more ridiculous Bond movie stuff, and you've got a pretty good idea of how Alabaster plays out over the rest of its run. It's just I mean it's like a lot of it's just pretty ridiculous. The characters kind of strange and not really likable. It's like and like everyone looking for a nice dark Tezuka story. Well, you're better off going with MW from Vertical. Um, Now, when I say the best and worst part about this series, well, Tezuka contributes an afterword that he talks about how the only reason this series was collected in the first place was because they're putting together a complete works line of his in Japan, and he also basically says that well why was I reluctant to publish this? Well, there's many reasons for this. It wasn't popular. It was canceled early, and even I think it's bad. Or I hate the protagonist's personality. It's like it's yeah. Basically, he just felt it's like he just didn't. He wrote this during one of his periods of manic darkness, and it's like and after coming out the other side outside of it, he realized that man, this is just no good, and it's really refreshing to hear the like Cure creator express such candor and honesty towards their work. You look at this and think, well, why the fuck didn't anyone at Digital Manga look at this and go, well, if Tezuka didn't want this, was kind of like having second thoughts about having this be republished. Well, why the hell did you even bother with it? I mean, is this like the best we can expect from like from all the other Tezuka works you've got access to? And that kind of leads me full circle here in the sense that it's like while I appreciate Digital Manga, I'm trying to keep the Tezuka flame alive. It really does seem like based on their output so far that Vertical particularly, as well as Viz and to a lesser extent Dark Horse, did bring over a lot of the most worthwhile stuff from the master. So I don't know. It's like I guess I'd be kind of concerned about seeing future Tezuka works from the publisher, but at the same time, though, it is kind of disappointing they haven't been able to build enough of an audience for the works they've published that they have to keep relying on Kickstarter. Like Vertical. Excuse me. Vertical managed to have a nice long run of his works. Most and not all of them were were fantastic. They were at least all all worth reading. But with Digital Manga's deep dive into his library, it really does feel like the best we can expect from the God of Manga in English at this point is just really deep unevenness. So I'd like that to not be the case, but they've been really quiet over the last couple months about future projects. So whether or not, so when or even if we'll see like a new Tezuka work from digital manga, who could say? But maybe just you want to be just a little cautious, unless you're like me. It's like and just said, "Ooh, I want all the shiny stuff that they publish, they give to backers at certain tiers, like in the Kickstarters, or to have your name in the book as well, which I'll admit is nice too." Okay, John, any thoughts on your end about all this?
None really, but it's interesting.
Fair enough.
The particularly what was it? The anthology series you were talking about. That's always fascinating,
Yeah,
and for readers, there have been, Stephen King has done anthologies and short stories as well, and even, and along the lines of Twilight Zone, where it's not really loose. Rumiko Takahashi also made an anime series it was actually called Rumiko Takahashi's Anthology, and they were
Rumic Theater.
non-connected stories, if you remember.
Yeah, it's called Rumic Theater.
Rumic Theater, yeah, that was it. So, but yeah, it's always interesting, and especially, if you just want to, one of the reasons why I do like anthology stories is they tend to be quick reads. Short stories are actually really, really good, even manga format. It doesn't matter what form. One of the more popular ones that most people don't realize is a short story is I Am Legend. It's actually a short story. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. What do you have in store for us next time?
That's a good question. I'm kind of stumped right now. So I've it's like so. I guess I'll be as surprised as you for whatever I do next time.
Sounds like a plan. All right. My plan is I have no plan.
Exactly.
All right, and we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Click.
Later.
All right.